And now look, this another thing, right? Now, now this some things that a lot of people don't talk about, and we gonna discuss it, right? Since we on this channel. Now, a few people concerning me about this one question in particular: Can a non-citizen national or state citizen have drugs or be in possession of drugs and get let off, right? And the answer to answer your question is, of course. And now I'm gonna break it down because drugs was never the problem. The problem is you being a subject to a commercial court or being a subject as pretty much you being a ward of the state, being someone who incapacitated or someone who is subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Because remember this, all crimes are commercial. All crimes. And every court is an administrative court. So everything is based off contract. So say for instance, you got a drug dealer, right, who's a non-citizen national, you got a US citizen. Now, the U.S. citizen is subject to the policies within the state on the level where he's a statutory citizen. Any statutory citizen have to be subjected to the codes within the state. So if they disobeyed those statutes, of course they'd be subjected to that. Now, a non-citizen national being a state citizen, the only crime that um, would violate the whole matter if he committed a violent act where it's an injured party. That's why I read when I was reading Florida acts and like what subject the person to the jurisdiction. So a state citizen who's outside of their jurisdiction, who's operating privately, and he doesn't have any contracts with the state or federal government within that state couldn't do anything because the district court worked directly hand in hand with the state court. Because anytime you're arrested by the police and they want to make your case federal, the federal court get the same records that the state court get. People just intimidated by federal court because they say, "Oh, federal," but federal courts are also administrative courts as well, right? They don't have jurisdiction unless you give it to them too, right? Because they dealing with United States code and the state courts is dealing with statutory codes, right? Now, do I advise people to sell drugs? That's your personal thing. Some people deal with marijuana, some people deal with that cocaine, some people deal with heroin, right? And I always want to be open when I teach people about this stuff because some people just curious, they never heard of it. So if a person had marijuana, right, a marijuana business in a private, and they want to sell marijuana and they don't want to be, the police coming to them or anything like that, of course they can. If they have no contracts with the state, do what you want to do. But if you have contract with the state, they coming. The feds coming and the state police is coming. But if you have no contracts, there's nothing they can do. Remember, the message on your passport tells the police you have their jurisdiction. But if they can't get you the contract with them, you can do whatever you want. It's all about contract. They ain't got nothing to do with what you have as far as the substance. Because the DEA, the ATF, the FBI, where do you think the drugs go when they take it from you? They go to their lab and back to the communities. And so they can arrest someone else on the statutory code. So it has nothing to do with what we think it is. As far as they stopping crime, they are enforcing commercial policies. That's all they do. It's all about commerce. And if you're subject to that commerce, you're going to jail. If you're not a subject to that commerce, you're not going to jail. But you will be watched. And you'll be watched carefully if you become a threat to these people. I'm out.